Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review. And with Captain America Civil War is out. I decided to review yet another Marvel film. Plus, when I previously reviewed the two Captain America films, but I decided to review another one, which came out last year after Avengers: Age of Ultron, which I absolutely love. But this one I really do enjoy, and this one is gonna be right here, Ant-Man. Ant-Man that came out in July 2015 after Age of Ultron, and I really love this movie. It's another great Marvel movie in which I do agree down here says Marvel has done it again. I do agree on that. Because Ant-Man, I had a lot of fun, had a lot of enjoyment from this film. I got a lot of entertainment from it, and what's well, first, a while back when they first started about the review, when they wanted to make a film on Ant-Man, I was like not entirely sure though, but I'm glad I was wrong on it because I really had fun with this movie, and and what made it work not only is directed by Peyton Reed, which I thought was an interesting choice for a director because he had, from what I remember, he directed The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. But I thought he did a great job directing this film, and it was also that before Peyton was chosen as director, it was originally going to be directed by Edgar Wright, the director of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. But he left the director's chair because I think it was like due to creative ideas. I guess like some creative ideas that he just couldn't agree on. But he stepped down as director, and Peyton Reed came in as the director. But Edgar Wright didn't leave the whole project completely. He stayed in as executive producer for the film, and he also came up with a story for it. So it was good that he stayed with the film, not left it entirely completely. And when the film came out, it got a lot of praise. It's an 80% Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.4 on IMDb. And it was a big hit. It made over a 519 million worldwide, domestically 180 on its budget of 130 million, which I thought was used. It was used well. I can definitely see the budget on this film. It was used very well. And also, what made the film work was the cast. Mainly for Paul Rudd, who as Scott Lang, Ant-Man. Which I thought he was an interesting choice to play Ant-Man because if you know Paul Rudd, most of the films he has done was mostly comedy films. But I thought it was an interesting choice to play Scott Lang, and I thought he did a really great job as Ant-Man. And also Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man. I thought he also did a great job as well, and Michael Douglas, which I've always enjoyed as an actor, and I thought he played a great role as Hank Pym. And since due to the film's success, they're gonna release a sequel called Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was gonna come out in the summer of 2018, which I look forward to seeing because I really do enjoy this movie, and I look forward to seeing the sequel. And it said that Paul Rudd's gonna come back, and Evangeline, if I mispronounce her name, Lilly, as Hank Pym's daughter, Hope. And hopefully that Michael Douglas comes back, because I really enjoy him as Hank Pym, so hopefully he does come back. So I look forward to seeing the sequel. And also another cast members, Corey Stoll as the villain Darren Cross, or also known as the Yellow Jacket. And I always thought the look of Which of course I like the costume for the Ant-Man, but also the design look for the Yellow Jacket I thought was really cool looking design. I like the look of the Yellow Jacket. And then Michael Pena as Scott's friend Louise. I thought he was fun in the role. Like how times like when he's described, how he got the tip from, which I'll get into though. Like how he interprets the whole story by lip syncing through all the people telling what they said, And Bobby Cannavale, I thought as Scott's ex-wife's fiance, who's a cop, and which the location takes place in San Francisco. And basically with the film, and and one thing is I also enjoy the sense of humor that was also in it, which I'll get to. But it opens up in the year 1989 with Hank Pym at S.H.I.E.L.D. and he enters a room with Tony Stark's father Howard and Peggy Carter, once again played by Hayley Atwell, and another guy who I forgot the character's name. And I liked how they digitally made Michael Douglas look younger. I thought it was good looking. He was good looking when he made him look younger. And he tells that someone's been trying to replicate his formula, which is called the Pym formula. The method to his shrinking for the suit. And the guy, I forget the guy's name, he mentions about his wife, Janet, because they say that she's dead, and he gets, Hank gets mad about that and slams the guy on the table and gives him a nosebleed. And I like the one where Howard Stark says, "Don't look at me, you said it." And so now, since then, Hank tries to hide everything from the whole world because they don't want people to get, bad people get their hands on this stuff. So after he leaves, then Howard Stark goes and says, he just kicked your ass full side. Would you like to see him where you don't see him coming? And then you get fast forward to the present time when Skyline gets out of prison and he meets with his friend Louise, Michael Pena. And another funny line is when Scott asks him how he's doing, he's like, "Oh, my girl left me. My mother died, and my dad got deported. But at least I still got the van." And another funny where he gets a job at where Scott gets a job at Baskin Robbins, and then the boss finds out that he is a former a criminal, and he's like, "This is Baskin Robbins. We know everything." So the sense of humor I thought was pretty funny in the movie. So like those, and also that Scott knows that he's a thief, but he does it because he needs money because he's divorced, but he still cares a lot about his daughter, Cassie. And the little girl who played his daughter was cute, and she was not annoying, but she was cute and sweet. And he goes to her birthday party and gives her a present, which is this weird looking rabbit that says, "I love you. Can I have a hug? You're my bestest friend." And she says, "Wow, he's so ugly. I love him." And so he goes and shows that it's not the best of presents, but he shows he still thinks about what present he gives her. It doesn't matter what it looks like, and it shows how much he loves his daughter, and he says that he needs money to pay for child support, whatever. So, or another line where he says to his ex-wife, her new fiance, it's like, "It was the first love of my life. Oh my God, I tell you, your fiance is an asshat." What? I said hat. And so he goes and so he needs the money for the child support, and he goes and talks to Luis about the tip, for the next heist, and which leads to this old house where he has this old guy who has a safe, in which the old guy is Hank Pym. So he's a cat burglar, and he's like, "I'm a burglar. I don't rob, because that means threat. I burglar." And I like how he works his way to how he disables his security system and how he gets into the safe. And when he gets into it, he finds something there except for the Ant-Man suit, which he thought was a motorcycle suit. But he takes it, and you see Hank Pym. He's been watching the whole time. And while this is going on back at Pym Tech, which was Hank's company, but he got booted out of his own company by his assistant Darren Cross and his daughter Hope. But originally, Hope is working for him she's working for Derek, but to earn his trust to work for him and to find out what he's been doing and what he's trying to replicate Hank's formula, the shrinking method, and his project, the Yellow Jacket, the suit. And that was a kind of a creepy moment because one of the guys, he's doing his presentation on the Yellow Jacket, and one of the guys says it's a suit, and he questions about the Yellow Jacket, and when Darren talks to the guy in the bathroom about what he said, the guy goes and takes his gun and zaps a guy and turns this guy into a spot of slime. And then he goes and picks up with some paper towels and goes and flushes him down the toilet, literally. Says, "Goodbye, Frank." Flushes the guy down the toilet. I was like, ugh, okay. Just zaps the guy and turns into a piece of slime, and then all of a sudden just goes and literally flushes the guy down the toilet. And although that was a kind of a creepy moment, though, to me, in a sense, but Corey Stoll, I thought he was fine as a villain, though, but he was not the best villain. He was not horrible, but he was not the best, though. But so he was in the middle. I thought he was decent. But like I said, the design look of the Yellow Jacket suit was really interesting, cool, And he's trying to he can shrink stuff, but like inanimate objects. When we test it on a live subject, like he did on a lamb, the result kept him doing the same thing. It turns into a small bit of slime. So let's see. So Hope tells him that Hope tells her father about all this, and he knows that he needs a different new person to steal that. That's why he wants Scott Lang. And I like when Scott first when he tries this on the suit, and when he pushes the buttons on the gloves, when he shrinks down, it's a really good looking effect how he shrinks, and all around him is all big. I like how the whole effects look when he's tiny, and all around him everywhere is huge. I really like those effects, and the effects I thought was really well done. And like how he explores as Hank is talking to him through the helmet. I like how he explores, like he goes through each floor, like from when he gets stuck into a vacuum cleaner, or it goes to another floor where this party's going on. He's on the record, but he says he doesn't want the suit anymore, and he goes and takes it back, but then he ends up getting arrested. And he goes and he gets visited by his attorney, which is Hank Pym, though, but he discusses how he's been watching him, and he's going to return back to his cell, and the ants bring him the suit, and you see the ants count down from 10 seconds, and he gets the suit on, and the cops think, oh, how did he get out of his cell? And they go searching for him, and Scott's riding on the flying ants, but then he passes up because they're flying one was flying too high, so all of a sudden he wakes up in his house, Hank's house, and his daughter is there, and another thing, I hope she's the one who turned him into the police because she thinks that he's the wrong person, and thinking that he can't do it. So, he agrees, and he agrees to do this, but also like where he goes and shows his lab, and it explains the whole situation to him. And I like where he says, where Scott says, I think what we should do was to call the Avengers, and Hank says, I've been trying to keep this stuff out of the hands of Stark. And this is not like the Iron Man suit. And all they've been doing all they can do is keep on dropping cities from the sky. Of course, that's referencing from Age of Ultron. When Ultron's plan was to drop the whole city of Sokovia from the sky. referencing that. I thought it was a nice reference for that. All he do is too busy is dropping cities from skies. And then only he agrees to do this, and shows him practicing how to control within the suit, like practicing how to shrink on time. Like shows him he's trying to shrink through this keyhole, and it shows him all the different ants he can work with, different kinds of ants, like the flying ants, or ants that can construct like a bridge or whatever, or ones like different off with electricity and stuff. And he also says that he can control. Shows up this earpiece that is to control the ants. Well, not control, but speak to them. Frequencies. And he's trying to do it, but he can't. But then Hope tries it, which she can totally she can use because she has used it before, and she gets upset because the whole thing about with her mother, and Scott has a conversation with her, and he does try it again, makes the ant move this penny. So as they head back, Hank tells about what really happened to her mother, that she was working with him as they're both as the Ant-Man and she was the Wasp. They were working together to stop this Soviet missile that was heading towards America, and it shows like when he's in at the time Hank Pym in the Ant-Man suit, like we mentioned earlier, that he could wear the suit, but it takes a toll on him a lot because he wore a lot. But the only way to just stop it was to use the regulator to shrink down even smaller though. But it will otherwise if you do that, which he told, you'll enter a quantum realm. Everything that you'll need shrink down, but you'll never be seen or heard from again. So his suit was somewhat damaged though, but his wife Janet, as the Wasp, she didn't hesitate. She just did it without thinking. Because she knew the risks, but she just did it without thinking, and she stopped the missile, plunged into the ocean. Said that she died a hero. So, and that shows that Scott is now in control of the suit, working with the ants, and they said they want to steal this piece of tech, to help with their plan, and so he goes to and stored like in one of Stark's warehouses, but as he gets there, it's the new headquarters for the Avengers, and then you get appearance by Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, the Falcon. And I like this moment where we get to when Scott fights Falcon. It was a good look. It's a good fight, and talking back and forth. Like his I can see you. Oh, hi, I'm Ant-Man. He's like, Ant-Man. It wasn't my idea. First of all, I'm a big fan of yours. Appreciate it. I just need to get in there and borrow some technology, and I'll return it. Save the world and all that. You know how it is. And he was gonna bring him in, but he shrink. And I like how he keeps on shrinking back and forth to fight Falcon, and it was a good fight, and yet humorous as well. And he disables his wings, and he gets away. And Anthony Mackie says, tell on the radio, is like, it's very important that Cap does not know about this. So he manages to steal the piece that they needed, and then they recruit Scott's friend Louise and the two other guys that are also like helped with their previous heist, and then another funny where he shows Michael Pena the suit, and he shrinks like, oh, what is this, like some David Copperfield shit, And he's on his shoulders, like, look to your shoulder, don't freak out. And of course he freaks out. Ah! So the humor I thought was pretty funny. It's like the sense of humor in this that I thought was used well. I got a lot of chuckles out of it. And I like the more where Scott goes and visits. He's in this here. Uses the suit and go visits his daughter. Still shows that they care so much about her. That he is a good guy, even though he was a thief. Though he was still a good guy at heart because he cares so much about his daughter, and said that she's his hero and stuff. And so they're gonna pull the heist. Well, this is said it wasn't just about a heist, as he said, but he shrinks down and enters through the water main as Michael Pena, disguised as one of the security guards there, and they use the ants to go on the electrical system, disable all the backups and delete everything, and then plans to steal the Yellow Jacket suit, and Bobby Cannavale as Paxton sees the van that they were in earlier and almost foils their plan, but he managed to get through the thing to steal a suit. But Darren knew they were planning to do this the whole time, and sees the Ant-Man suit, and also. When Hank and Hope are there, and other people come in, including the guy from the beginning that wanted his technology, and some other people who are members of Hydra, that they want to sell him the suit. And he's like, you try to hide your suit from me. Now it's gonna blow up in your face. And Hank punches him. It's like, wow. I mean, I saw a punch coming a mile away, but I didn't know it would be. All pathetic and stuff, whatever. And then he was gonna shoot him himself, but then Scott breaks through the glass, kicks all the Hydra men. The guy that wanted his I forget what the guy's name that wanted his technology. He steals this container of a small tube of the formula, and he gets away. Darren shoots Hank in the shoulder, and he gets away as well. Another good sequence or an effects as well as the scene where Ant-Man he shrinks down onto the display model of Pym Tech as the security guards are shooting, and he's running in slow-mo as the bullets are slowly going past him, again destroying this model as well. And Michael Pena is there to help him. He's like, Scott, are you there? Are you alive? Did I save you? Hey, we're the good guys, right? Yeah, it feels kind of weird, And then Hank and Hope get out of the building because Hank has a keychain of a tank, and it says it's not a tank, and it's an actual tank that he shrank, and he uses it to make it grow back and bursts out of the building in the tank. As Darren gets on the helicopter, he sees the flying ants coming towards him. He gets a gun, starts shooting at them, and of course he happens to shoot the one ant. I was like, and people was like, oh, he happened to shoot that exact ant that Hank really liked. He named Anthony. It's like all the other ants that they could have shot, he shot that one particular ant. And you see the wing fall down and says, you're gonna regret that. So he gets in the helicopter, and then as the explosives they set goes off, it shrinks the whole building. Poof, it's gone. And then Darren gets into the suit of the Yellow Jacket. Like I said, cool looking design of it, and that was another funny fight. Where they're both shrunk, and they're fighting inside this briefcase as it falls out the helicopter, and they're inside the briefcase and it's still falling from the sky, and they're fighting, and Darren says, I'm going to disintegrate you, and on his phone plays the music, says play Disintegration from figure what artist, and as it's still falling from the sky, they're fighting in it, and it lands in this backyard pool. Scott in full size. I thought it was another fight more where he's full size and the Yellow Jacket is still tiny, and he gets a paddle and swats it like a fly, and you hear that little sound effect when a fly gets swatted. flies from this bug zapper. I thought that was another funny scene right there. Then he gets tasered by Pakistan and learns that Yellow Jacket is at their house, with his daughter, and says, "Don't be afraid. Are you a monster? Do I look like a monster? I want my daddy. I want your daddy too." And he gets there, and that was another week I like was another sweet thing when he calls her Peanut. It's like, "Hey Peanut, why don't you pick on someone your own size?" And another real good fun fight scene where he's fighting on the train set table, and of course, I thought this was really funny as it was playing at the end of the trailer, where he's on where Yellow Jacket's on the track and he sees Thomas the Tank Engine coming towards him. He's like this, like he's scared he's gonna get run over. Then of course the wide pan shot from the point of view of it really see like it hits nothing. But I thought it was kind of funny, saying, Kim afraid to get run over by Thomas the Tank Engine. I just had a laugh because that made me smile because I grew up with Thomas the Tank Engine, just because I always loved the show, and I thought that was kind of funny, Thomas the Tank Engine was gonna run him over. And also, Scott throws the devices, like one of the red one shrinks and the blue one makes things bigger. So he throws two of them. One lands on this ant, grows to a giant ant, and then one hits Tom's tank engine, and it makes him makes him grow giant and bursts through the house, runs to the front lawn. I was like, wow. A giant Thomas the Tank Engine, with the eyes moving back and forth. I'm seeing that, because that makes me smile because that's another childhood thing that I grew up with, Thomas the Tank Engine. And I thought but still the whole thing was a good fight. And then Paxton comes in and tries to get Cassie out, but Scott's only way out is that to defeat him is to use the what was that word I said, the alternator, or I forget what the thing was. To make him shrink between whatever, to go into the quantum realm like Hank's wife did. So he does that. And he says, "I love you, Cassie," and then goes into the suit, breaks everything, causing Darren to shrink, and then poof, disappears. And also I thought it was a good looking setting, because he goes into the quantum realm, and how the settings are. You see, first it's like flashy and colorful, and then it transforms into this good looking setting where you like how the inside of a kaleidoscope looks. How you look through a kaleidoscope, you see this cool looking setting, whatever. I thought that's the way it looked. I thought it was a cool looking design of how he enters the quantum realm, and then he gets the one of those things that makes things bigger. He puts it into his belt and makes him go back to being regular size, because he hears because it reminds you of his daughter, and he hears his daughter, "Daddy, where are you?" So he uses it to make himself big again, and just before the rest of the cops show up, and he shrinks back, and Cassie sees him, his big shadow waving goodbye at him. And then he goes back, and he sees him, and once again, we shows one last big shot of Tom's tank engine giant outside as the big ant runs by. And back at Hank's house, he explains that he was in the quantum realm and he came back. And as he leaves, Hank Pym says to himself, "Is it possible?" Indicating, though, that it's possible that his wife Janet is still alive in the quantum realm, but maybe they'll hint at that in the sequel, because maybe, I don't know. But because he says, how is it really possible, hinting the fact that maybe she is still alive, but in the quantum realm, though, still. The possibility. And as he opens the door, he sees them both kissing, and another fight more where Scott's like, "Oh, how dare, you gotta stop grabbing me like that, it's not right, and kiss me like that." And then Hank says, "Scott, you're full of shit." And then he goes he's having dinner with his family, and I like where his daughter Cassie is feeding some food, giving some food to the giant ant that's still under the table. And it shows that Paxton, realized that he covered for him by saying, there was a glitch in the cameras, they didn't escape from his cell and stuff like that, and then he thanks him for that. And then he says that he has work to do, so he goes and talks with Michael Pena again and explain that someone's been looking for him. That's Anthony Mackie. And you get a reference to Spider-Man because we got a guy who swings, crawls up the walls, etc. And he says yes. And then you get the one of the credit scenes is that it shows with Michael Douglas and Evangeline. I mispronounced her name though. Lilly. They're talking that him and his wife had been designing a new prototype for the Wasp, and it says that's really for her, for their daughter Hope, and she says it's about time we test it, and she says about damn time. And then you get to the last credit where it shows Falcon with Captain America, that they have Bucky, and they reference the Accords and says and it says Sam Wilson says, I know a guy. That's hitting at Ant-Man, of course, and I know that oh, never mind about that, but overall, yeah, I enjoy this movie. I enjoy Ant-Man. And this is also, I've read that this was also in my top 10 favorite films of 2015, which I'm glad. The Avengers Age of Ultron was second though, but I'm pretty sure I put this at number 5 or 4. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was either one of those two. But I enjoy Ant-Man. I had a lot of fun watching. I'm glad I saw this, and I'm glad I have this on DVD, because I just had a lot of fun with this movie. And Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, I thought they both did a great job as Scott Lang and Dr. Hank Pym. The rest of the cast, I thought they did fine. Michael Pena I thought was fun to watch. Corey Stoll as Darren Cross, he was there though. I mean, he was not the best villain, but he was not horrible. But I thought he was decent as the villain. But like I said, the design and look of the Yellow Jacket was cool looking design, and I liked the Ant-Man suit as well. The girl played Hank's daughter Hope, Evangeline. I can't remember to pronounce the name, but last name Lilly. I thought she was fun as well, and Michael Pena, like I said, was fun. Bobby Cannavale as Paxton, I thought he was there as well. Directing by Peyton Reed, I thought that he did a good job directing. The score, I kind of who did the score to this? Christoph Beck. I thought he did fine with the score, and I'm glad that Edgar Wright stuck with it instead of leaving. Even though he stepped down as director, but he still stuck with the movie. He came with the story, and I thought he did a good job with the story because I like the story of the film. So, the sense of humor I enjoyed. I enjoyed the sense of humor. I also like the pacing of the film. It went a really good pace. It's under 2 hours, so it says 117 minutes, so it's just under 2 hours. But without the end credits, I would say just probably maybe 110 at most. I'm just guessing though, but it's probably around there. It's usually credits are like 5 minutes. But it does go at a very good pace, so it wasn't slow and it wasn't boring. I just had a lot of fun and entertainment from this film. I just really enjoy Ant-Man. And I do look forward to seeing the sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp. The effects I thought was well done. The budget was used well. Cast overall was very solid. The humor I enjoyed. The effects. The characters I liked. I don't have that much problems with the movie, so that's a good thing probably. So yeah, I love this movie. It's another great Marvel movie, and I do agree with this. Marvel has done it again, so another hit for Marvel. And just really quick on the opening weekend for Captain America: Civil War, huge opening weekend, over 180 million. Another big hit, and a much bigger opening weekend than Batman v Superman, which was 166. This was made. Civil War made 180, 81 or maybe 80. Wait for tomorrow for the final total. So, but yeah, nothing for features except for a deleted scene. But of course, you get the Blu-ray. There probably is like a commentary or something though. But still, none of the features have more. Blu-ray features have more than just a regular DVD. So, but oh. Well, hey, maybe one day I'll get this on Blu-ray just to see for the features though. But I'm perfectly fine with just having it on DVD. So overall, highly enjoy Ant-Man. If anyone hasn't seen the movie, go and check it out. If anyone hasn't seen it though, I'm sure a lot of people have. But I enjoy this movie. I love the movie. So I got a lot of fun and enjoyment from this movie. So. I don't say I don't have that much problems with it, so. And I explain all the other great things about it, so. Well, that's my review for Ant-Man. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.